Coach Best, good to see you again, sir.
How you doing?
Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'll tell you, Nigel says he does 100 meters of track. That guy's moving, isn't he?
He think he can move.
I would not want to be in his way because pretty solid built.
Yeah, he can get out there a little bit, and that's the Hulk right there. So we call him the Hulk. So
call him the Hulk.
That's his name on the team. Nickname on the team is the Hulk.
And Hendon's is what, hen dog?
Yeah, he's got
hen balls too.
Hen balls, hen dog. He has a lot of. I call him by his real name, so he doesn't want me to say that one. Ain't that right, Alan?
He goes by Alan. That's Alan Jr. Just Alan.
I call him AJ sometimes, but most of the time I just call him Alan.
AJ Hooker would be a great name to have going into college, maybe head toward the pros.
I try to tell him that, but he wants to go by his middle name, so I take that.
Wyatt Smith out of the house and Coach Norris Best in the house. Talk about what happened last week. Hendon goes down, team's got to step up, and that's exactly what they did.
Right, it was a situation where, unfortunately, kind of what happened. They pretty much they ejected Hendon for the alleged punch, and then that's what we preach. So next man up. So do your job, know your job. And Richard said he was ready, and then he went out there and he did what we asked him to do. He managed the game and led us to victory.
He completed 2 passes and both for touchdowns.
Yes, and then
can't beat that efficiency.
And then we said it's one way to knock the nerves out. You either gonna get hit on the first play or you throw it on the first play.
Right.
And fortunately, first play we called a pass for him. His eyes got big, but he did what we asked him to do and completed the ball for a touchdown to Thomas Young.
I was going to say Thomas Young. We just talked to Nigel about Thomas. Thomas is a good X factor for you.
Oh yes, he became an X factor a little bit last year toward the end. It's more on special teams, but then as he was behind Jaden Maynard a little bit last year, but he got his chance a little bit toward the end of the season. And we knew we expect a lot of him this year, and he's done a great job for us.
He got some new receivers. Brunson stepping up this year.
Yes, and unfortunately, he had last year we expected kind of a big year out of him, but he had a couple injuries and a couple surgeries that he had, and wasn't really able to produce like we wanted him to last year.
Brandon Pearson Boyd and Mattis Gilmore step out, and then Brunson steps in, and John Zellis steps in.
Yeah, John Zellis, we got him back from basketball, and Nigel Fitzgerald. John played 2 years before he didn't play last year, his junior year. Focused on basketball, and he came back this year. John played quarterback for us. His first 2 years, he was a JV quarterback, so he knew the system. Came back, so it was pretty easy adjustment for him. Coming in, but just he always said he was an athlete. So he kind of transitioned. The transition from quarterback to receiver is pretty easy for him. He's a natural athlete.
What's your quarterback depth chart right now? Give me the quarterback. You got 2 or 3 or 4 quarterbacks. What's that depth chart like?
We look at it right now. Obviously, Hendon is our number 1 guy, and then you got a great battle for number 2 every day in practice between Richard Quad, as we call him, Quad Monroe, and then Austin. This year, obviously, Austin's a freshman, and
you guys bringing him along a little slowly.
Kind of get him ready for that varsity game speed. Going from middle school to varsity, just like his brother did, was you skipping the JV year. So
exactly, you're giving the JV year to get that varsity experience.
So he's getting a lot of reps, and. I tell him, if you can do it in practice, it might not look good in practice, but you can go against this defense, then you go out there on Friday night, it'd be easy.
What about Crossan? Is Crossan doing any snaps at quarterback this year?
Last year, he was
one of our number 2 last year.
He was one of our backup quarterbacks, and we're using him a little more this year.
Because I know he's become a big-time stopper on defense.
Yes, you hear him tell them, they won't come our way, but I said, you're going to get your chance, and we're slowly using him a little bit more on offense. Using my receiver because of his speed, he can go. He's one of he's a big time track guy, and we feel like he can run with the best of them. So
Has he got a younger brother over there too?
No, we have a couple brothers. We have John Zellis' little brother.
Yeah, I remember him.
Chris Zellis is one of our quarterbacks on JV that's playing right now. Then you have Zeke Rush, his little brother Xavier Rush. He's one of the running backs on JV. So we got a great talent pool on the JV level right now. And some of those guys, they were able to play the first game for us on varsity because they weren't able to play against Carver.
JV game that night,
so we let them play and get a little varsity experience that night, and they seem to enjoy it. But they're going to be very good.
What about this kid at Dudley? You may not know him, you may know him, Brandon Lambert. Remember he played basketball last year? Is he still around?
He's transferred to Southwest.
I thought he must have moved somewhere because I told that kid last year playing basketball, I said you need to be on that football field.
Yeah,
we
tried to get him out there, but he's at Southwest High.
Yeah, so he's going to hook up over there with the Langley brothers.
Yes, he's over there with the Langleys.
Some destructive basketball.
Oh yeah, they should have a pretty good team over there.
Yeah, Northwest versus Southwest would be some great matchups.
I went to the game last year. That was a great game.
As they say sometimes, that's off the hook, that's off the chain. It was some crazy games.
Yeah, those were great games right there.
Any new wrinkles on your offense this year?
This year, especially with having, Hendon, this is his fourth year in the program, fourth year in the offense. We gave him a little more control of the offense, especially we've implemented more of our no huddle and a little more of our spread offense. We feel like we got the guys on the outside, and he has a lot more say so on the field, as we give him a lot more opportunity to call a lot of the checks, a lot of checks, and because he knows the offense front and back, and during the summer, at times we was like, are we gonna be able to do this? Because we felt like we was getting a lot of guys trying to get people in place, but they're coming along. We got pretty good size on the outside, and we got two great running backs who, you hear them tell they're not happy at the moment because they don't feel like they're getting the ball
touches,
enough.
right?
Yeah, you hear Ezra talking.
They both had to step up last week when the Hendon went down. Both Perkins,
they stepped up big time for us. Ezra comes to me every day talking about, Coach Best, I think we're getting a little carried away with this pass, and he's talking about, let's do what we do best and let's run it. And I told him, I said, Ezra, trust me, you're gonna get your shot. We're trying to develop some things and work on, especially a lot more of our pass pro and some of our passing, because that's what's gonna take us as far as we want to go.
So you got
more
last year, you kind of got Maynard involved in those little swing passes toward the backfield. That was helping you out. Then when he got hurt, you brought our other little running back in, kind of took his spot out there.
And then injuries kind of caught up with us a little bit towards the end last year. When we lost.
I thought that Simeon Gatling kid did a pretty good job for when he came on board.
Sim did a great job of stepping in for Ezra. The one thing is we try not to wear him out because he's going full time both ways, a strong safety, and also coming in and playing running back as well. Because when we lost Ezra last year in the Page game, Ezra was a great piece for us for what we wanted to do.
Took a lot of the pressure off
Connell, and he was a great 1-2 punch. He was a great,
super complimentary player.
Super complimentary. He'll hit you. He's a fantastic blocker. So and it was Simeon coming to the other side of the ball. It was playing a lot of catch up. His main side of the ball was obviously on defense, but great.
You got anybody playing both ways?
We have Karan Blunt. He's probably one of our better linemen. He's a very strong kid. He's starting at a left guard for us, and also at one of our defensive tackles. We're trying to get to the point where he won't have to go both ways. We're trying to pull along one of our freshmen, Jalen Williams. He's coming along a lot. He's getting more and more playing time so that we can spell Karan a little bit, and especially, hopefully, as we get towards conference or down the road, we won't need him going both ways.
What do you expect out of Durham Hillside tomorrow night? What do you expect from those guys? They've been pretty tough for you the past couple years. Sometimes they'll come in and still give you. I remember Emmanuel Moses that game a couple years. That left side run up that left side right before halftime, kind of set the tone for that game that Friday night against Hillside. But at that point, it's a pretty close game.
Yeah, well, we don't have an Emmanuel Moses right now.
But Hooker's not a bad run.
Oh yeah, I just finished talking to Emmanuel about the game Saturday, but Henry can run it, but he doesn't have the speed of Emmanuel.
That extra gear,
Manny had a gear that most people didn't have. But as far as Durham Hillside, you know what you're gonna get at Durham Hillside. Big, fast, strong, and they're very aggressive. They have.
And they don't necessarily go for the or need the high-scoring games. So beat Southern Durham 7-3, they can play and beat you in a low-scoring game.
Right. They have a great defense who gets after the ball, and they have a humongous offensive line, and they got some big backs who run. It's hard to find them something. They hide behind those big guys, and they run downhill. They got a left tackle that's 6'7", 330. They got a right tackle that's 6'6", 330.
Wow, got them on both sides.
They got twin towers on both sides, and they got some great beef. Pretty much 300 across the board on the offensive line.
I was asking Nigel, how do you get in that backfield? I've been watching film on some guys lately. You see like all these different defensive shirts in the backfield at the same time. How do you get there that quick?
Well, Coach Anderson runs a great defense and a great scheme. All our guys know their job, and they know what their assignment is, who has who.
And they all take pride in their role too. Every guy, their role is important.
And I can tell you this one thing: Coach Anderson has his kids take pride in defense. Our defense is where we hang our hat. Defense wins championships. Everybody says it.
Yeah,
that's
what people pay the tickets to come see the offense, but the defense wins those.
Especially when it gets a little cold outside. You got to have somebody who wants to hit somebody in the mouth. And
you got a big play toward the end. You got Elijah Hood coming off right tackle, needs about 2 yards or 3 yards. Gets only 2.5.
Yes, sir.
In a big game, yeah.
And that's where you win it at. We got great linebackers. We got a great defensive line. And then our secondary is our strength right now. I would even say our back seven. And then we had to replace a couple guys on the defensive line, but they've come along great way. We still have Austin Williams at defensive end, Reggie Robertson at D tackle, Karan Blunt, who's our Iron Man, going both ways right now. And then we got a couple guys at defensive end right now that's in full rotation. And then,
I tell you, defensive back has been a kind of a high water spot for Dudley over the past.
Right.
Some very good athletes at defensive back.
That's Coach Davis's department. So he takes a lot of pride in the defensive backs. All the way back from when he first got there to now. Everybody knows that the David Amersons, the Keno Coros, those guys who've made it to the league, and is. Coach Davis works a great technique. He promotes physical play, and if we can get great.
Who's the hardest hitter back there probably right now? Any idea from your standpoint?
Without a doubt, you probably got to ask anybody on the team. Nobody wants to find number 2. Bring on C. Grace.
I thought the same thing. I was thinking that because he's gotten bigger, gotten stronger, gotten more sturdy.
Yeah, he
as they say, brings the lumber.
He brings the lumber. Sometimes he hurts himself, but
Yeah.
But going to last week with David County, he made the play of the game. Unfortunately, the kid got hurt. But he set the tone.
Clean hit though.
Yeah, it was a clean hit. But it was a great play. He came, got ran a post across the middle in his zone, and like I said, he lays the lumber. He clean hit, but that set the tone for us for the rest of the game. Kind of got, we didn't have some things go our way at that point, but it kind of get everybody on the same page.
And I bet it helped the offense when the defense stepped up like they did last week.
Defense stepped up for us big time. It was 6-0 actually, and then we finally got a drop. Henry had a beautiful pass to DJ. Kind of set the tone, kind of get the offense in rhythm, and then after our starting defense hasn't given up a touchdown yet. So this season, and
that's something nice to hang your hat on there.
That's their pride right now. They don't want to have it anytime soon. And then after the events happening last Friday, everybody stepped it up. Defense was lights out for the rest of the game.
Well, in the Metro this year, you're going to definitely see Page. You got to go to Page this year. Probably a great battle. You guys set the tone in that game really last year. To remember that play with DeAndre Overton, I think, took the ball early in the game and lost yardage, maybe running right to left. You guys kind of set the stage early in that one, kind of put the clamps, and really you determined the outcome of that game early in that game last year.
Yeah, like I said, defense won that game for us. Page has a high-scoring, high-flying offense, and they always have great athletes. They spread the ball around. Obviously with Will Jones at quarterback, Javon Lee, they got great playmakers to get the ball into it. Last year, defense set the tone. They had great pursuit. They didn't give Javon any angle. Any angle to kind of run and get the yards that he normally gets. And then our secondary last year stepped up big time. They gave up the one touchdown to DeAndre, but DeAndre's going to make plays.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, they stepped up and kind of shut it down from there.
What do you think about what's been the hottest day you've seen so far this season, as far as the preseason goes on to the games? What's been the hottest one you've seen?
Well, there's a lot of them. Actually today it was supposed to be a walkthrough, but it was pretty warm out there today. You know, it's been a lot of, but those July days where it was kind of brutal for us. You know, we only had 2 weeks in July, but some of those days, that late June, early July, I mean, and actually, I'll tell you, the probably hottest day for me personally was worked the Tennessee camp July 17th in Knoxville. Scorching hot.
Wide open spaces.
I think it was 98 degrees, and you know the heat index is about 108. But we was in Neyland Stadium, not a cloud in the sky, the sun right on top of us.
And Mr. Mosley was out there.
Mr. Mosley was out there. He wouldn't leave me alone. That's my man. Manuel. Yeah.
Will you be at that game Saturday?
I will be there.
Wow.
I just talked to him. You know, Keenan. We all going out there. Manuel looked out for us. Emmanuel's my guy. We got a very close relationship. He, like I said, he just called me when he was getting out of practice and said, "Coach, I got some tickets for you," and which it's hard to come by. It's a sold-out game.
Yeah.
What
is the sellout for that game? What was it? 160,000?
I think it was. I know it was 150,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's close to 160,000. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I know I'm gonna be tired because we're gonna get up and go early in the morning just to kind of beat the traffic. So late Friday night, early Saturday morning.
Away game Friday and away game Saturday. You just got to keep rolling.
These last 2 weeks has been some late weeks coming back from Davie County, you know, and then 2 weeks go to Richmond County. So these next few weeks has been a lot of travel.
It's all about preparation, getting ready for that road.
Yes, sir.
What about the Panthers on the road at Denver tonight? That's the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. You know, I tell everybody I got a lot of Panther fans in my family. I'm a Cowboy, but I root for the Panthers. I would say whenever they're not playing Dallas. I think you know, right now I feel like they're in a better place than Denver was. You know, we're gonna see what the quarterback at Denver does a little bit tonight. Now defensively, Denver is great. You know, I think the great unknown right now is what they're going to do offensively with breaking in a new quarterback. I think Cam Newton's going to do Cam Newton things. You know,
right.
I'm looking forward to see Kelvin Benjamin back out there.
Yeah, I mean, getting his first catch is going to be a big catch.
Yes, you know, he was one of my favorite players when he was at Florida State. I actually met him at Florida State and NC State game. Coach Anderson is a big Florida State fan, and we went down to the game and met him. So I'm looking forward to see what he's doing back. You know, it's a return, first game tonight.
Other than Hendon Hooker, who do you think is the top player in Guilford County this year? A lot of talent out there this year.
There's a lot of talent right now. There's a lot of kids making great plays. Obviously, you got your two guys at Page, Jones and Lee, who are making great campaigns. You got Hennigan at Northwest, who's Mr. Do-It-All. And actually, you know, one of the sleeper teams, he's picking his team up right now, but Chavis Little at High Point Central. That's one of my former students.
He may be at 1,000 yards in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, and then I seen him. He came by the school after that. I talked to Chavis, and, you know, I mean, he said this is senior. He's going to do I think he's a sleeper right now in the county as far as, you know, like you say, he's close to 1,000 yards, the leader rusher right now in the area. So right now, it's a lot of great guys, actually. You know, it's
well, I mean, Hendon brought up a good name. He brought up the name Nigel Peel on the defensive side of the ball.
Now, me being an offensive guy, you know.
Offense first, that's right.
But, you know, we got a great competition on defense right now. And it starts with our two linebackers, Nigel and Pat Connor. They go at it, you know. Those are, you know, the heart and soul
and that's
of the
what you like. You want those guys in the middle to be your leaders. Everybody else try to catch up and compete with them. Who can be the best, and nobody better to lead that way than those linebackers.
And, you know, and the defense follows, though, too. They follow 12 and 15. They follow, too, you know. Those are the voices of the defense. When they speak, everybody listens.
Just tell Breon Seagraves to duplicate what he did against Richmond County last year. Remember that punt return? Duplicate that.
And, you know,
still don't forget that was one of the plays of the year last year.
And, you know, Breon had a great junior season. You know, for a guy in the secondary to have over 100 tackles, you know, but you know, he was our leading tackle in most games because he's hard-nosed. He gets to the ball, you know. So, and Nigel's on pace right now to outdo what he did last year when he had, I believe 134 tackles, and, you know, a couple of those he didn't play a full game. So, you know, he just gets to the ball. Nigel Peele gets to the ball. He finds the ball, and when he finds it, it's hard to stop the hope.
What's it going to take one day? You're going to eventually one day probably step away maybe from Dudley, go for a head coaching job somewhere. What's the time frame? Many more years before you start looking at something like that?
You're always working to perfect your craft and move on to a bigger stage. I'm waiting for the perfect situation for myself.
You've probably seen some already, but it wasn't the right situation.
Right. I'm looking for the perfect situation.
Would you do it at middle school before high school?
The funny thing is, my principal at Ferndale Middle now, he said, Coach Bass, can we count on you right now? And and I was telling him, you already know where my allegiance is right now, but I still actually work a lot with our Ferndale middle school team. Mike Caldwell, who was the head coach at Ferndale, is now teaching at Southwest High School. He's the JV, and then one of our other teachers is actually at High Point Central now. So we all still step around and work with the middle school program. I'm a firm believer of running, especially your feeder schools, running the same offense, same scheme.
Same scheme, exactly.
And for me, right there that's a different scheme. High Point Central than I'm used to.
Right.
Then I'm here, but I'm definitely looking. Whatever I feel is the best for me. I'm definitely looking at all my options and pretty much be ready to branch out soon.
How close are you to maybe getting a master's degree?
I'm very close, actually. In about a few months in December.
Get it in December, get that master's and move it up. That's great, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So I'm finishing up everything right now.
And it'll be in education?
Applied mathematics.
Wow. That should take you to the next step.
Yes, and then I was thinking about going to administration, but that's a whole nother program.
That's what Coach Moody's son did. Coach Moody was involved here for years. And, his son is now, I think, assistant principal at Grimsley.
Yes,
Moody, yeah.
And then when I graduated from A&T, I already had some graduate courses in mathematics, so I went on to decided to finish that. And then, my thing was, once I get in school, I'll get in the floor and stay, and then now I feel like I'll go back and get some more of it. So
the thing is, just keep getting it.
And we have a lot of coaches that are pursuing post-bachelor's education at the moment. One of our coaches on the staff, Coach Morgan, he has his master's. He's working on his doctorate right now. So, he's one of those that kind of motivated me to finish up everything that I needed to do. So, that's one of my close friends from college. And I said, that doctor is going to look good, so I said I got to follow up behind him.
You get that doctor's degree, you'll definitely be well.
I just had to put my mind to it, and I got laced a little bit.
As we close up your interview, give me one thing. This might be tough to do in public. Can you do this in public? I don't know if you can do it or not. I got to think. Can you do a Panther in the house?
I try to say my voice. I've been hoarse since last week.
Yeah, maybe.
And the kids love it. I try to stop it this year and get them to do it.
But try to stop it.
But they wouldn't allow me.
I've seen other coaches try to duplicate that in other places, just not the same.
And then we always.
The thing I like, and I'm not trying to stir up any trouble, when you were at Southeast last year and you did that chant, you're in the house, in the Panthers' house. I thought that was pretty neat.
Well, wherever we go, we take it. To Barn Out when we go to Durham Hillside. That's a piece we take our field. That's our field. We make it. We try to make every game our home game and control it. So that's probably the main reason why we say it. It's not to disrespect anybody else, but as far as a model for us this is our house.
You got to set the tone.
Set the tone. And we always start off low, and as we get closer and closer to spreading that field, we get a little louder and louder.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
They already know that where we at this week. That's all I got to say. We at the Panther house. So,
Coach, you do a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The day you get that doctor's degree, call me so we get you to Shane's, and we'll just kind of do a little recognition that night. Nothing football, just strictly doctor's degree.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
We will do it when you get the master's. We won't wait to get the doctor's.
Oh yeah, and that's why my mind is set up now. Now I'm pretty much finished. I'm ready to keep going back.
Keep it rolling, my man.
Thank you, sir.
Always good to see you.